So if we could get together and schedule the interviews, we could start the hiring process.
Okay, so you have a green light to do that?
Not yet, but just getting the date is more important, I think, right now.
Do you know who the mayor wants on that committee to interview? Do you mind if I send him an email?
That'd be great.
Okay.
The vehicle, scratch that off the list, it is here. And the officer is very gullible. We had, it was equipped where we purchased it, they send it off, comes back, it's ready to go. We sent it to Crux out in Boone County for the striping.
Yeah.
They called one day, I answered the phone, and the officer who was going to be assigned to was sitting right there with me. And I just nonchalantly said, okay, fine, thank you, and hung up. And I looked at the officer and said, I can't believe this. You haven't had a chance to drive it yet, and it's already damaged. Their shelves fell in the garage, and all the stuff went on top of the car, and so we have to go take it to a body shop. So he was pleasantly surprised when I dropped him off, and I said, it's all yours, see you later. So he was happy.
So the one that he was driving, is that going to be surplus, or is that a backup car, or what?
The cruiser he's currently was driving is going to become part of the pool car for our other officers, for the part-timers.
Okay, so
We have a car in mind that needs to be declared surplus and taken out of service.
okay. What do you want to call the part-timers instead of part-timer? I hate that. I hate
Two
that.
new officers.
Okay, the new officers.
New officers.
All right.
I don't like the differentiate either.
Right, the connotation's not good. Okay.
And then we provided a list to the mayor of surplus equipment. This is equipment that's come off of other cruisers. This is equipment that we've had on our shelves for a couple of years. Because of technology improvements, it's no longer feasible for us to utilize it. It may have been broken at one time. It may have just been, it's obsolete for now. So there's a list of equipment. We're going to go through it. We're going to ask council to declare it surplus, and if it's voted upon and once it's declared surplus, we would be able to take any usable equipment and maybe pass it on to other agencies that might need it. Majority of it just needs to be destroyed. It just doesn't work, and you don't want this stuff in the wrong hands. Some of the screens, those are the partitions that separate the front seat from the back seat of a police cruiser. These are sizes for, one's for an Expedition we still have, and then the rest are for Crown Vics. The cars are smaller than that now. These partitions don't work in any of the cruisers that we would be buying. Even if we switch models from Ford to Chevy or to Dodge, they still would not fit inside. The county garage, the Kitten County Public Works Department has an auction once a year. We can hang on to these items. They just did it late fall. We could ship it out there prior to their auction. The screens are getting roughly $10 to $15 per item because they're sized for a particular car, and a lot of cab drivers like them. So, a lot of cab drivers like to go around finding old police cruisers that already have partitions in them. So we'll let council make their decision on some of this.
Will that list be available tomorrow night?
It should be.
Okay.
It was turned in.
Okay.
If we know it's going to be on the agenda, I'll make sure I have copies as well. Computers and access to dispatch information. We're not sure why, but one of the computers downstairs is constantly getting a virus. Northern Kentucky, NKOL will come in, they'll clean it up, they'll do it remotely, they'll stop in, and within a day it's back. For some reason, and we were racking up a bill just trying to get these viruses off there. The software's been added now. We're going to track that. Hopefully that's going to help correct the problem downstairs. I'm not sure what the program is or what the problem is. One of the computers downstairs the officers are using is an in-house formatted program that all the computers have. Whatever, it's not saving it, copying it to where I can view it from my desktop. It's just not there. If I go downstairs and sit right at the computer, and there it is. So, it's going to take a little more tinkering with it.
So have we isolated it to the computer, or is it the server? We don't know.
Don't know.
I mean, at some point, you know, computers are pretty cheap compared to having people come in and try to fix them. It might make more sense just to get rid of that one,
Scrap it and start over.
especially if it's got viruses on it.
I just bought a brand new one of those all-in-one computers, like a big 20-some odd inch screen. It was like only $300 or $400, and it meets all our requirements. It would have been $450. Out of the Best Buy, just walked in and picked it up, and KY outs and everything goes on it, and just have to go in no time.
Might be time to look at that, huh?
Yeah, do we know, how many times have they been in to look at it? Well,
I
probably
don't know.
not. Yeah. Is somebody looking into this?
Yes.
Our Apple computers, do they get viruses?
Well, all computers did.
They can, but not too many people write viruses for
Well,
Apple.
that's what I was wondering, maybe if you want an Apple or something that people are,
They're so restrictive under trademark. Really, they're the only ones that make their own programs. That's why they don't get many viruses.
so is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing. I don't know.
Both, depending on.
Yeah, and I'm not sure.
It wouldn't work because the software you use probably
Yeah.
wouldn't be compatible with Apple, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm not
It's good and
sure
bad.
about that.
Probably have to run it under Windows anyway.
Right.
So, you know, then once you run under
And
Windows,
those
you're
are
subject to
viruses.
viruses. We tell them off council to go to that Apple thing, will you?
Go to the
I
Apple.
hate,
Do you not like that?
they're not compatible with anything.
Yeah. Except
Okay,
Apple.
except Apple.
Apple's Apple.
And iPhones.
Apple's the Apple.
And they're more expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
But if you're doing graphics, they're great. And what else, chief?
Under part one, that's all I have.
New reports. If that's just Excel, is it just the format that she's using, do you know?
All I know is, I tell her our city council meeting is the second Monday for Park Hills and the first Wednesday. That morning, she goes down there, or every first of the month, pushes a couple buttons, and that's what I get. So she's formatted it. She said she'd give it to anybody who wanted it. And she was evidently doing the same thing at the airport. That's where she came from.
Okay.
So I told her that someone was supposed to be calling, and she was,
I spoke to her.
okay.
Because of the situation, timing's going to be tough. But we can, Sue Ann knows about it.
Okay. Can I scan that and send it to Holly? Not that, I mean, she's not the only person we want to have do this, I understand, but she's been the most vocal, and I'd like to make sure this does what she wants it to do before we go, you know, put a lot of effort into it, that's all.
That's fine.
Okay. KLC insurance grant, I gave you copies of that. This is we're actually paying for this. I mean, we have the KLC insurance. So to say that we're applying for a grant is kind of a misnomer, because what we're doing is, we're kind of getting back money that we've already sent them in terms of premium. So this is what they're offering to us. We have until November the 30th to apply for any of these grants. We can only apply for one grant as a city. So I don't know that any other committee is even interested or even discussing this. So if there's anything on here that the safety committee wants, I think this is a good opportunity to at least put the request into the grant. Chief, you know more about this than any of the rest of us, obviously. Is there anything on here that kind of jumps out at you?
There are a couple of items on page one, under law enforcement, the must-have KLC. The second and the third is something that we're going to be looking into in the future budget, due to the fact that our accreditation is coming up in 2015. So the budget cycle starting July 1st of 2014, we're going to have budgeted in there fees for accreditation. If that makes sense.
So that would be the 7/1 of 14 budget?
It's the next budget, yes, not the current budget. So depending on what kind of fees they help you with, that's worth looking into. And the third item, the police in-car cameras, we have a couple that are old, and it's one of those just like the computers, it's outdating yourselves with technology improvements.
So you're thinking about the in-car cameras?
Yes.
Have you seen the new cameras? We're trying to get some more literature on it. Basically, you put it on your chest, it's about a 2x2, but you also can put it on your dash in the video. And I was thinking about trying to get that for our department, just because you get out of the car, you just take it out of your, you snap it off, and put it on your body, and but I'm having problems getting all the information I need for it. I don't understand what this company's problem is. They send me the literature, but then they won't, it's like they don't want to give me the price. I need a price.
There's no local representative.
No, this is out of California, and I can't find anybody.
Figures.
Do those cameras, do they transmit to, like, to where dispatch is, or is it just like the video for the car?
The camera system we have is a disc that you download to your computer. They do have the type that dispatch can see what you have on your screen.
But you don't have them
We don't have
currently.
those.
They just make them.
Well, they had that
Yeah.
thing on 60 Minutes the other night with that Go camera, that are supposed to be pretty small. Would that do the same thing? GoPro, I think it's called.
Yeah, I mean, camera systems work. They definitely have shown their usefulness.
Well, they were saying they were $400 a piece or less.
I would be interested if they were that price.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the ones I've priced out are usually in the mid $1,500 to $2,000 range.
Well, this is what they're calling GoPro. And all the kids are using them on skateboards and everything else.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
And they showed guys like surfing and everything. And
Those are
it's
cool.
really good pictures.
But those, I don't know if those would actually fit in our format, because I think they're a little bigger.
No, they're small.
Are they small?
Yeah.
I guess those ones that put on their helmets and stuff, don't they?
They've gotten a lot smaller recently, but the thing was, they put them on sticks for when they've thrown them, and dogs have carried the thing back.
Well, they can't be that big then.
Right.
Go cameras.
What kind does Covington do?
GoPro, they're different ones. They're different models, like outdoor, indoor, HDs.
You've got it on your computer there?
Yeah.
What kind does Covington use? Don't they have personal cameras?
You know, when I was at Covington, we never had cameras except the traffic units, but that was 4 years ago. So I don't know if they went back, if they got cameras now for everybody.
I don't know if they all do. I know some have a personal one.
We had some real small ones that were like they half the size of a Sharpie's marker, but they didn't last very long. They seemed to break easy. I don't know.
The mini view?
Yeah. So, and the ones that I was telling him back about, they're about 2x2 inch size and about 1 inch thick. And you can actually mount them onto your dash and stuff, and they just have a USB port you stick into your computer. But I'm having problems getting the prices. The GoPro sounds like the way to go, actually.
Yeah, I think they're larger than the 2x2 that you're talking about, but, you know, I don't know. I mean,
If they're on a helmet or a stick, they can't be that big.
Right.
Right.
And these just, the ones I was talking about, they just fit on your pocket, like your, so,
They look like they might be a little bit larger than most police officers' badges.
They're pretty small. Yeah, they're small. That's incredible.
Yeah.
and if they're
$400.
being used for, if they're being used for those extreme sports, they're durable too.
Yeah.
Well, between 2 and 4. You can get them as low as 2.
And the thing it is, somebody knocks it off a policeman and breaks it, it's only $400, it's not $1,500.
And if they knock it off, the police will charge them in court.
There you go, I didn't even think of that. Guess that's why you all the police.
Chief, on this list, which one would you prefer that, I mean, if we're only gonna get one shot at this, we can't say we'd like this or this or this. We ask for one thing and for the city, and they make that determination. So if you, I mean, if you had your choice between accreditation fees and 2 police in-car cameras, which would you go?
Probably the in-car cameras.
Do you have a price on those?
Yeah.
Okay, we're probably gonna need that before we apply. This is a 50/50 grant, so whatever, if they did approve it, we get funded for half of what we asked for.
Right. Under the last category, safety and wellness training, the very last one of that group there on page 1, work zone signs, and then the street sign replacement, that's something that somebody needs to look at. The street sign regulations,
I mean, because of the change of the size,
yes.
who would that be? Public Works?
Public Works.
What about trench boxes? Do we have one?
I'm not sure what all Public Works, I don't think we have one, but I think they have access to them. And I'm not sure what kind of work Public Works would use to actually go that deep into to create a hole to go into it.
You don't have to be that deep to need
No.
a trench box. I'll ask them about that.
I haven't seen any, let's put it that way here.
Okay. I have all the particulars on this, Chief. If it's okay, I'm going to email those to you.
Yes.
On what the rules are and what you have to do and all that sort of thing, just so that, I think we're going to need pricing for sure. You want it? Okay. I think it's on their website somewhere. I can't remember. Here it is. I'll scan it to you because it'll have that, it's a safety grant thing. Okay. We'll probably have to deal with this tomorrow night because there's no late November meeting, and this has to be in by the end of November, so we'll probably discuss it tomorrow night. If nobody has any other requests, it'll be police. Okay. Anything else on the insurance grant? Anybody? Neighborhood Watch. Make any progress? I know we don't have a website yet, so that's difficult. Come on.
Are you asking me? I didn't know there was anything else I needed to do.
I
What else
don't
do you
know
want me
that
to
there
do?
is.
I just know that I gave the chief the information about what I would do at a meeting, just based on what I found online from other meetings. And that's as far as we've gone.
Okay.
You want practice?
I think it's all him, like, I think,
I'm saying I need help with one of Brown if you want to do some
oh, I'm good
practice.
in front of people, I'm solid, you can count on me, just send me where you need me to go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's all right. I know that we had talked about having this website up and running, and we were going to get email addresses from residents so that we could push information out to them. And we can't just go out and try to organize these things. It'll never work. We can't go to say, show up at this date and this time. Nobody will show up, and you know what it's going to be. So they have to come to us, but I don't know how we're going to get that done. I know Holly had a sign-up sheet on a trail, but I don't know how that went. I didn't follow up with her to find out if we have names or we don't have names. or
We
what.
should.
You do.
I saw the list, yeah.
You should.
I was there, I was taking the name.
Good for you, thank you.
Thank you.
How many do you think we have?
I think it was like a page and a half.
We're good.
It was a good start.
Okay, well, maybe we'll start pushing. We do have TV coverage tomorrow night, so maybe we can get some people to send us their email address. Probably be a good idea to create an email here so that they can email their address to that email address instead of everything going to Craig or whatever. Do we get charged for email addresses, do you know, Chief? Typically, you get a bunch of them for free. So we could just create one called safety@VillaHillsKY.org if that would work. And we get people to, I'll check with Craig in the morning and see if he can create an email address for us.
I'd say if it were up to me, if I were said, what's the best way to go about this, I would say tomorrow, mention it at the meeting while you have the time, where people might be watching it, because I know people watch the meetings. And is it already on the website to contact so-and-so if you're interested? Because that's how you're gonna get the people come there, Chief, would you want them to call you if they wanted to be kind of
If they're
the
interested,
organizer?
set some up, yes.
Okay. So if it's on the city website and it's mentioned tomorrow, those are both good starts.
This whole thing was supposed to have its own web page once we went to the new website.
Mhm.
I don't know when that's gonna happen.
Whose job is it to do the page?
Well, Rod Boehner was taking the lead on that, and he was hot to trot on it for a while, and it seems like it kind of cooled down, so I'll check with him to find out. I know he got some help from NK, I think the ad district. He got some help from the ad district in designing it, but I don't think it's up and running.
Yeah, I'm terrible at that, or I would totally do it today. I just,
Well, it's gotta be part of this whole website change. And
okay.
He was really hot on it for a while. I think he's got busy at work and he's kind of, I'll check with him in the morning too.
Yeah, just whatever you need on my end, I'm happy to do it, just let me know.
I don't know that there's anything
I don't
more
think
you can
there
do,
Mhm. Right.
unless you have ideas on how we can get people to get involved with this. It would be nice to have some way, if you've got something going on, to tell people there is something going on.
Yes.
Because they're gonna get it on their phone, they're gonna get it on their computer, they're gonna get it, I mean, you just have your phone out, and I'm sure you get emails on that. That's what we wanna do, we wanna push that out, let people know there's a potential issue anyway.
I get it when the bridge is closed down, get it when the bridge reopens, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. We need that for us. I would say it needs to be in the papers. I mean, I still read it, I'm old fashioned, I still read the paper.
The
Once,
newspaper?
yeah, I would say
You
once,
mean the Voice or the?
hard copy paper, like the community reporter, where they have the announcements. I look at them, you know.
Maybe we can get Stephanie to help us, the lady that comes from the newspaper every month. She reports on us anyway, maybe we can get her to help us.
Once we have it set up, yeah, we don't have it set up yet, right? Once we do, if we have an alert system set up, that would be great, once it's in place, to solicit the numbers.
We need that alert system.
Sure.
Is there any way of telling how many people watch the city meetings?
I don't know that. We keep a count of how many hits we get on the website, but I'm not sure what that tells you.
Is that the city website? Because I just go to TVNK altogether, like I bypass the city website altogether. So I don't even know
You
if
mean
that
to
would
watch the meeting?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched January's, but see what I'm saying? That wouldn't even be accurate. There's probably no way.
That's the thing, it seems like a lot of people, I'm not sure that everybody knows to report things that they see out of the ordinary. A lot of people just kind of ignore things that are going on in the neighborhood, but they should really call you if there's something suspicious. I remember one time on Valley Trails where a television truck went by and dropped the tank, and we had the fire department up there and everything else. And I just went up to the policeman and said, I remember seeing a television truck go by, and I said, that looks like a water softener to me. I can't say it's not a bomb, but that's what it looks like.
Well, the chief has several times said, call us,
Yeah,
call
That's what I
911.
mean.
I'd rather check out a false alarm than not check out something that wasn't.
but I said, I don't know that people are getting that message to call. And if they're not looking at the websites or watching the city meetings, how are they gonna know that?
I think they're getting the message. I think the question, what the problem is, they're trying to differentiate which one, should they call or not. I think they're getting the message. Yesterday in the Inquirer, excellent article about the south end of the county, and Chief Capps talked about the number of burglaries. And of course, because it made the paper yesterday, their office was inundated with phone calls today. And we know that's going to happen. Probably shouldn't say it too soon, but they've solved some of this since then, since the story was written.
Because they're getting the calls?
A little bit.
Can't hurt, I guess.
Police work, yeah. Sometimes people just, it's human nature, sometimes we hear something, and we wait to hear it again, to see if that's really what we heard. You know, we want to convince ourselves, talk ourselves into, yeah, I did hear that. And then 10 minutes goes by and you don't hear it a second time, oh, I'll forget about it. And it's human nature, especially this time of the year where, you know, it's dark at 6 o'clock when our meeting started.
Well, that's the thing, nobody wants to really start any trouble, especially if they're not really sure what they saw. But, you know, if you saw it, if it bothered you,
If you saw it and heard it, you know,
You
see
should call.
something, report it. You should.
These are two really important things, the alert system for citizens and the neighborhood watch. Those are important. That's good, that we're taking care of it.
Yeah, it's hard to get that message out, though. I don't know how to do that. We'll keep trying. That email address thing is a good start. I don't know where those are, but we gotta get those.
I thought Holly took them, but I'm not sure.
I'll check with Holly. We need to
I'm
get
not
this
sure.
started. Even if we only have a few hundred, it's better than having none.
I agree.
Okay. Anything else that anybody wants to talk about? Open floor.
I just got one question. The webpage that everybody's talking about, is that the VillaHillsKentucky.com or .org?
Yeah.
Okay, and they're gonna send emails to me or anybody that signed up for, about emergencies and things like that, right?
Well, emergencies, or if the chief has some information he'd like to get to you, like, hey, there've been several burglaries in this neighborhood, keep your eyes open, if you find anything, report it, here's the number to report it to, you know, that sort of thing. And what we were thinking is, I don't know if this will work or not, but we were thinking that maybe we could have not only the email addresses, but break it down by neighborhood. So
That's
that-
what I was gonna ask next, like, in this section, that section, or whatever, right?
And there is some smart software out there that'll let you just have a file that has selection parameters in it, and then you simply go after, hit that file with emails, and it'll go out and just send the ones that you asked to be sent.
So were those, the emails that would have to be tied to a section in the city? In other words, like Valley Trails or Surfside or anything?
It doesn't have to be, but it seems like that would make it more functional. And then if you wanted to send a general blast to everybody, you could.
Right.
Or if you wanted to do it by locality, by neighborhood, you could do that. Or maybe you had to group 2 or 3 neighborhoods to get the message out that you really want to send. But it seems like we had at one time, like tiers, we had a problem with tiers for a month or 3 weeks or something. And then we had a problem at Apple Blossom for a month or 3 weeks. So it seems like it just kind of rotates around, you know, and there's no reason to get everybody crazy.
Right.
You only need a few people crazy at a time.
Has anybody ever considered putting one of those signs like Crescent Springs has on our sign that with the reports of this, that, or whatever?
A digital sign.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's ever come up.
It was discussed several years back, having a digital sign at the city building. They were worried that because of the cost, only a fraction of the city would see it because of its location. Everybody who came off of Collins, they made a right to go down towards high water or anything, they wouldn't see it. They were also the cosmetics of it being in a community, in a residential area. What you're showing, you know, we like your house, thank you for keeping your yard nice, but we're gonna put a sign blinking next to you. So that was discussed as well.
I think if we had something we really needed to get out, I think the fire department, fire authority would
Yes.
help with that. So, you know, and that's really the entrance to Villa Hills is right there. So, what else you got? Anything
That's all.
burning? Got a Kentucky game at 7:30, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Take too long.
Won't take too long. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, thank you all for coming. But one thing, before we get, these meetings used to be bi-monthly, so they would be every other month. We had a few things we wanted to get done early on, but I'm wondering, do you think it makes sense to go back to that bi-monthly schedule?
I think if we get the reporting system for council and the website up and running. I think that would help get the information out, so we wouldn't have to do this
Okay,
every month. I mean, but I would like to continue for now.
fair enough.
I mean, just,
I'd say until these are off the ground.
let's have at least one more for the end of the year.
That would be December 9th. Would be the next meeting.
Is that on Tuesday?
I got a question
The
for you.
10th. Tuesday the 10th.
10th, Tuesday the 10th.
We have one more question. Yes, sir.
But it may be going off the deep end, so I want to,
More allowed.
You want me to adjourn before you ask me?
Off the record.
did you happen to see that recent article about the county talking about merging police and fire throughout the county? And how they were going to